Hello guys, welcome back and thanks for tuning into my channel. Today's topic is about configuring and installing an Ansible AWX in CentOS Linux Server 7. So those who are not aware or not heard of what is Ansible AWX, so it is nothing but an upstream project for Ansible Tower, and it is open source. You can install it and you would be able to manage all the system from Ansible Tower, and definitely yes, you have to install Ansible in that, right? So anything you can do through Ansible command line, you would be able to do through Ansible AWX GUI interface. So main advantage of Ansible GUI interface is it is very helpful when it comes to auditing. So I have mentioned here, because there would be a lot of servers which you are going to manage, right, through Ansible, and you probably need to see the logs, which server has what credential or what are the changes has been done from Ansible server so far, and which user run what are the playbooks on those client system. So in that case, if you have a centralized location and that is again a web interface, then it is very useful. You can be able to just click some button and you will have the report. So in that case, it is very helpful. Okay, so the next point is the Ansible AWX is a GUI interface, like I told you, but you can do anything what you can do in command line. So the Ansible command line, we usually run Ansible ad hoc commands, and also we run Ansible playbook with command line. So those every action you can be able to do through Ansible Tower or Ansible AWX. So, and also you can categorize team, users and organization to have a better view which team has which users and they have what credential on which system. So from one web interface you would be able to view all this information. Okay, so there are many more I'm going to discuss later in my videos when I'm going to prepare videos in Ansible and other component which is we run in Ansible. So in that I'm going to discuss all the stuff. So for now, in this video, what I was supposed to show you is I was supposed to install an Ansible AWX and configure it, and I'll show you the dashboard how it looks like and the initial tabs and options, how we can add users and other stuff. Okay, so without going further delay, we can start. So the first thing is we need to ensure that our firewall and Ansible Linux is disabled. So let me just check that. So it is running. Let me just stop. And also the Ansible Linux. So Ansible Linux is disabled, right? So next thing is I wanted to check my repository. So there is a default repository which comes with CentOS. So apart from that, I would need an EPEL release repository as well. So let me just install it. Right. The next thing is to install the packages. So let me just clear the screen. These are the packages. I need Git package because I'm going to download the packages from Git. So that is why I need this package, and Ansible is required, and I also need Docker packages. I can use OpenShift, but for now I'm just going to use Docker. And also there are some dependency packages like bzip2. It will do a compression, and also a Python Docker package we need. Okay, so let me just install them. And why we need Docker here, I'll show you, because when we are going to download the Git packages, when we download the AWX packages from Git, it will going to run under Docker as a container. So that is why we need a Docker, and we need to ensure that Docker service is started. This will going to take a little time. Let me just pause the video and resume once the installation is finished. So my prerequisite packages required by Ansible AWX is installing. So there are 52 packages including dependency, and once this is done, I'm going to start a Docker service, and then I'm going to download AWX packages from GitHub. So you can see there are a lot of Python packages, because since it is going to be running under Ansible, Ansible is written in Python, so that is why we need a lot of Python packages here. Okay, so the prerequisite packages are installed. So now the next step is I need to start Docker service. And need to enable it so that when my system reboot, it comes up. Okay, so let me just check the status just to double check the service is running. Excellent, so it is running. The next step, what I have to do is I need to download the AWX package from Git. So you probably have seen the Git package which I have installed. So if this package is not installed, you won't be able to download it, and you can able to download, but what you have to do is first you have to download it in your system, and then you win SAP if you do not have this Git package in your system, this Git package in your system. Okay, so let me just start this. This is about 250 MB of size, and it is currently going to GitHub site Ansible, and in this location, and from there it is downloading. So I believe it is going to take at least about 10 minutes. It is depend on my internet speed. So what I'll do, I'll just wait and pause the video, and once the download is complete, I will resume back. Okay, so my package is downloaded, and if I just see here, there is a directory called AWX, and inside that I have some few more files, and let me just go inside the installer, and let me just initiate the installation. So to do that, I have to run Ansible command. Okay, so it is checking the inventory currently, what is there inside of it, and also it is checking the YML file for installation, and depend on that it will going to download the package and it will going to install it. So first thing, what you can see here, it is going to Docker Hub and trying to download Postgres container. So if I just take a duplicate session here, and run Docker images, I don't see any images here because it is still in a process of downloading. and it is not yet downloaded. I can run again, and probably I can watch it running watch command and put them in for 1 second interval. It is about 200 MB I believe, and that is why it is taking a little time. So let's wait anyway. So okay, so it says it is done. So now it is trying to download RHEL7. So if I just do a docker image command again, now I can see there is one container, or I mean it is just an image now because we haven't initiated or run this container. So it is downloaded and it is about 267 MB size. And the next thing what it is doing is the RHEL7. So the docker image here in PostgreSQL, whatever the data you are going to save it in AWX, so everything will be going to store in this DB. So that is why it has downloaded the Postgres DB and also the RHEL7. So RHEL7 is also downloaded, it seems. Let me see, and I can see the RHEL7 is also downloaded. It is about 126 MB. And the next thing what it is doing is it is downloading memcache and also other container. So let me see what it is doing now. It is going for an interval for 15 seconds, and then again it is going to download few of the container. Yeah, so now again it is downloading web container for AWX, and this will going to take a little time since the WebEx container is about 1 GB. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pause this for probably 2 minutes. I believe it will download it 2 or 3 minutes. Let's see. Okay, so AWX task is now in progress. So AWX web container is downloaded already. So I can see here it is about 1 GB of size, and I don't think this is that big, but let's just wait. It is in the process of downloading. Okay, so as you can see, all the docker container are downloaded, and now if I just run this command, and you can see docker image, under that we have Postgres, RHEL7, AWX web and task. So now the images are downloaded. So what is happening? So if I go inside this directory cd AWX and into installer, here when I initiate the installation, I mention install.yml file. So in that it has specified that it will going to configure and install the RHEL7 and Postgres DB, and also it will configure the AWX web. So now it is happening in background. So how will we ensure and see that? So to check that, we can simply run docker logs command and we can check the output. So here I would be able to see there is some changes applying in background. So now I can see that it is checking the main.this file, and as per that the configuration is happening, and I can also see there are some changes happening in this file. So this will going to take some time because it is installing the component currently in Docker container, and once everything is done, we would be able to use web interface, and I will going to show you how it looks like. Okay, so this will going to take a little time. It is going to take about 20 minutes. So let me just pause this video for now and I will resume back. Okay guys, so my installation is done for my AWX, and now if I just run docker ps command, I would be able to see that it is listening on port 80 and it is currently running under that. So that is the process. So I would be able to now access the web interface with my IP. So currently my IP is 146, so 192.168.137.146. So let me just bring up the interface here. So the login screen would be like this, and here you just have to log in with the default user initially. You can add user once you are logged in, and you can change the password later. So currently the default password is password. It is PASSWORD, and once you type that, you can log in. Okay, so this is how the dashboard look like. You can see clicking in the dashboard, so there is only one host which is currently can see this AWX system, and this is the local host where this AWX packages are installed. So this is the one, and the inventory, it says demo inventory. So inventory is nothing but collection of hosts where you can add and you can manage them. So if I click on dashboard again, and if I click on inventory, I can see this one, and I can create a new inventory clicking in add button, and I can say probably a test environment, and description probably test Linux server, and the organization that you can change, that is nothing but your company. You can add them here. We can add an organization, and inside credential, for now we don't have anything, so I haven't created any credential here, so that is why it is not showing anything here. So let me just create this now and save it. Okay, so now if I click on dashboard, and I can see two inventory, and now it is not in sync yet. So what I have to do is I have to just go inside of it and just click on host, and I have to add the host which you wanted to manage from this Ansible AWX centralized location. So probably I will add a host here, and 192.168.137.144. this is my RHEL6 system, test system. So this is how you can add it. Just save it here, and now you can also enable this one. It is by default on. You can make it on and off here. And if I again click on dashboard, now I can see there are two inventory and two hosts added. So you can manage now one more host from this Ansible tower. So if I just click on the system, I can see the information. So the next part is the first, when you install the AWX tower, you just have to create a user first, and probably you have to go from the bottom here, and first we will use user. Okay, before user, probably I'll create a organization. So probably I will create an organization for my company or something like that, tune to Linux, and description is for something like Linux tutorials. And once I create that, it will create a default template here. You can see users, there is nothing in this organization, no teams, no inventory, no projects, nothing I can see. So now what I can do, I can just go to probably team. I can create a team here, and I can say probably a build team, Linux build team, and I can select the organization because I just created organization saying tune to Linux, and I can save it here, and I can add in user inside of it. So currently only one user, which is default, the admin user. I can create a user clicking on here, So I would say build user L1 user probably, and email I just say nobody for now, just an email address, and the username is going to be something like build ADM. You can give anything and you can specify the password. And whether it is a normal user, administrator user, or the auditor user. So there are three different types of users. So normal user is nothing but the user which have only set of permission that user can only run some playbook, and that user cannot be able to modify the playbook. So in that category it will come. So another categories are like system administrator, which will be like you have all the rights to do, and the system auditor. So that this type of user is nothing but you can just view or you can just read what is going on here. So for now I'll just click on normal users, and organization I have to add. So I'll just add it here for Ubuntu Linux, and I will save it. Okay, so now if I go to dashboard, I can see there are 2 inventory, 2 host, and 1 project, and I don't see any template. So template is nothing but your playbooks, and there is also jobs. So demo template jobs we have to create, and we have to specify the template where you wanted to run those playbooks. So I will going to show you those in my next video, how we can add them and how we can run playbook in client system. Okay, so for this video that's it guys. I was supposed to show you the installation part, and in my next video or coming videos I'm going to show more about Ansible Tower and Ansible, through which you can manage multiple nodes.
Wherever I go, wherever I see, I remember you. If you remember